What's good? What's good? It's the one, the only, but what do I know? Boxing back at y'all with another one, man. So the boy Dmitry Bivol, who actually happens to be my favorite fighter at 175, says that he's interested in going down to 168 to grab those titles off of Canelo. I think that Dmitry Bivol at this point, he wants to be undisputed, man. He even stated that like when they were asking him about a rematch with Canelo, which would be a very good payday for him, he stated that he's more concerned with making legacy fights, becoming undisputed, bro. That's what my man wants, and that's what it looks like he's after. However, I don't agree with him wanting to make the move to go back down to one, well, not even back down, because he's never been, to what I remember, he's never bin at 168, and if so, he's never made any significant marks at 168. All his significant victories, or all his significant wins has been at 175. So, you know, I don't understand. I don't see what this is about. I actually just made a video about this, comparing, you know, him fighting Jamal Charlo at 168. I think I said 165 earlier. If I said 165, I either meant 175 or 168. I don't know. Anyways, listen. So according to Boxing News, you know, it says that after soundly beating Canelo in a one-sided defense of his WBA light heavyweight title at last May, champion Bivol doesn't see it as interesting to fight the Mexican star at 175 for a second time, which I don't blame. It is pointless. It's not like he really has anything to gain other than a significant payday, which he kind of stated that he doesn't really care for a big payday. I mean, he wants to make legacy fights. At least by going down to 168 to fight Canelo for his undisputed championship at super middleweight, Bivol has something to gain in terms of belts rather than making another defense of his WBA at 170, or of his WBA 175 strap, which something I kind of just stated. Canelo has a tune-up that he needs to deal with next May against possibly John Ryder. I guarantee you it's against John Ryder. As for Bivol, he hasn't said what he wants to do his next fight, but he's already been asked for a fight at 168 by Jamal Charlo. That's not an interesting fight for Bivol because Charlo doesn't have a world title at super middleweight. But I think that if you plan on moving down to super middleweight, it'll be a good test at least. That's just my opinion. But if Bivol doesn't take that fight, his promoter Eddie Hearn will likely encourage him to defend against #1 WBA Joshua Batiste next. Batiste isn't as popular as Charlo, but he is #1 ranked contender for the WBA belt. Bivol wants Canelo at 168. It says Bivol wants Canelo's 168 belts. I heard about it. This is Bivol. I heard about it. People give me credit. You should be fighter of the year, says Dmitry Bivol. That's what people are telling him. He says, I like the sound of it, but I can't say about this object because I didn't see all the other fights. I thought about only my career. I don't know about all boxing. It's hard. Of course, said Bivol when asked if he'd be willing to fight Canelo at 168 for a rematch next September. My weight right now is 185, maximum 190. So you know that's gonna be 185, 190. You talking about what 20 pounds that he's gonna lose? I've seen fighters lose more, but you know he might not be comfortable with that. You know, if you know 190, that's 22 pounds, right? So it says it would give the advantage to Canelo, no doubt, because that's his weight class, said his manager, Bivol's manager, about Bivol being willing to come down to 168. I personally, again, I don't think Bivol should do it. At least it would be a challenge for Dmitry and a motivation, because if you did it again at 75, would it be interesting to anyone? So, I mean, listen, I'm not mad at this, you know. I'm not mad at this. But before, let me read another option for Dmitry Bivol. He asked, "Do you want to fight me?" Said Bivol about WBC middleweight champion Jamal Charlo, asking him if he wanted to fight. I couldn't imagine before that I would fight Charlo. He's from a different weight class, from 160. It's not my weight class. I can't move down. If he moves up, why not? Yeah, at 168, I'm not sure that he has the belt. What's the reason to fight him at 168, said Bivol. There being no point in fighting Charlo. There will be 10 other guys at 168. Do you want to fight me? So basically they're saying, like, if he fights Jamal Charlo at 168, it'll be more guys at 168 urging to fight him. Listen, bottom line, listen, I'm gonna give my quick opinion, okay? I don't see a point of Dmitry. I see what Dmitry Bivol is saying. Like, bro, what's the point of me fighting him again at 175? Like, I already beat him. I really gained nothing out of this except for a payday. And again, Dmitry Bivol has stated that he's looking for legacy-defining fights. That's why he wanted to push the fight with Artur Beterbiev. But Artur Beterbiev has his own issue going on with Anthony Yard. He has a mandatory against Anthony Yard that they're looking to make, I think, in February. So Dmitry Bivol is wanting to keep the ball moving. He's not waiting on anybody. But at the same time, I think it's dangerous for him to move down at 168. It's the reason why he fights at 175. If he could make 168 comfortably, he would fight at 168. But I think that's dangerous. I think that definitely gives Canelo a big advantage. Although, albeit, I do understand you want all those belts, and that's cool. I'm not against that. However, I would rather for Dmitry Bivol to fight his WBA mandatory, Butisse, and you know, focus on a fight with Artur Beterbiev in the fall of 2023. That's just my opinion. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. What do you think? What do you want to see next from Dmitry Bivol? Would you even be interested in a fight with Canelo at 175 again? I mean, because again, besides the money, it's really no point. We saw everything that we need to see, and I don't think that Canelo can make the adjustments to beat Bivol. Let me know what you think, but what do I know?